All right then, detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations here in Kenya have arrested an American national believed to be the mastermind of a Ponzi scheme that used an app on Google's Play Store, no less, to swindle Kenyans out of millions of shillings. Stacey Marie Parker was arrested at the weekend shortly after she flew into the country. She's linked to Amazon web worker. It's a Ponzi scheme that drained potential investors' pockets dry. The app falsely claimed to be an affiliate of Amazon Inc., and it was accessible through mobile and a web application. And those lured into the scheme through social media ads were being promised, among other things, a 38% return on investment. Investigations show victims are required to apply for membership by providing some key personal information like their full names, their mobile phone numbers, and their M-Pesa details as well. All right, then, so let's explore this in a bit more detail with Dr. Bright Kameli Mardor. He's in charge of managed cybersecurity services at Dimension Data. He joins us now live on the program. Good to have you back on the program, Bright. So I guess let's start with the broad picture here. How common are these online Ponzi schemes within the region, and why do they still attract so many victims?
Right now, a lot of cyber criminals took advantage of COVID time or the pandemic. So they know people are desperate for money, and the people are desperate for any means to make any quick extra money on the side. So a lot of people are trying to to move to ways that can make things believable, and that is why most of these apps are coming up. The thing is, these cyber criminals who actually created the Amazon web worker were really smart. They actually took time to create a web application and create a mobile application, making it so believable. What made it so believable was the fact that they actually make you to receive some sort of return for the first few days that you have worked. So you think it's actually working. So you're going to actually, it lures you to put in more money. Now, there's so many ways to attract you to be able to get into these Ponzi schemes. Some of them come to you as application. I personally have received messages in my Instagram account where they say, "Look, I would like to work with you. You can actually invest in us in our." And they use the things like crypto, or say you can actually work with us, and your money is going to double or triple in the next few days.
Oh yeah, there are
And a lot
plenty
of
of those
people,
that show up virtually every week online, on Instagram especially. It seems to be a favored fishing ground.
it is. It is because everybody's desperate, so they have to get social engineer people to actually be able to get them on board into such applications.
Okay, so I, the thing that still surprises me about this is that this app was available on the Google Play Store. I mean, one would presume that for you to actually get an app onto that particular platform, you'd have to undergo some sort of vetting to make sure you're not throwing something out there that is clearly loaded with malware or trying to just skim people's accounts.
Yeah.
Shouldn't there be stronger standards for apps of this sort?
Uh, this particular application is not violating any rules of Play Store actually, because it's legitimately just supposed to allow a person to be able to transact and deposit and remove money. So nobody's going to actually question them about the app being secure or not. It does not violate any out of that. What they are working on is the application does not exploit the phone. If it did exploit the phone or was going to exploit the phone, then there could be some sort of application check which will stop that from happening. This one is exploiting the human element, which people are actually going to, people who are gullible to be able to actually sign up onto it actually do. The problem is, for the fact that it's a human base, you can't really stop that. And there's a lot more awareness that is needed, because some of the people who got us the app were told to go tell their parents, and they got the entire family all lured in to be putting their life savings onto it. So it doesn't how to violate the Play Store rules.
But to the extent that, because this essentially is a sort of social engineering attack, right? Because the fact that
Yes,
the app
it
is
is.
available on the Play Store gives us this sense of legitimacy. If I'm getting it from the Google Play Store, maybe these guys are actually legit, as opposed to sideloading it from some third-party store, downloading an APK somewhere that I've never from a source that I've never heard of. I mean, isn't that
That
part of the problem, though?
so that I wouldn't say that is a problem per se, because they anybody could actually register a legitimate organization and register the app to themselves and let them use it. But you see, a company can be registered in any part of the world, and integration into things like M-Pesa and the likes to be able to make transaction easy only needs a few details to register. So this person was banking on locally available applications to be able to interconnect and make it easy for them to actually do the transaction. You see, for a Kenyan who is here knowing that it's M-Pesa and they've been told doing a few work in a few hours, you're going to get your money doubled in a few days. They believe it because they can see M-Pesa being connected to it. And they use another word, Amazon. Amazon is making millions if you can see it online. So it was quite easy to social engineer anybody to get onto the app.
Okay, so let's moving away from this particular incident. The stats on the
Rama, back to you.
Sure, can you hear me clearly? Okay, unfortunately, we've lost the connection there to Dr. Maudo. Are you back, right? Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, I'm here. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I can. Okay, so looking at the stats, though, for cyber attacks, for malware last year was fairly sobering. 81% rise in denial of service attacks between the fourth and the third quarters last year. 44% rise in malware. 281% rise in web application attacks. You guys must have been busy. Walk us through the trends last year.
But trust me, we have not been sleeping. We have been on the run. Be it December, there's no holiday for us when we work in cybersecurity because the attacks keep on coming, and the methodologies that they're using right now is changing so frequently that every organization has to be a step ahead. Now, one of the most common attacks, apart from the web applications and the malwares that are coming in the form of phishing attacks, which is coming in the form of emails, looking so legitimate. Again, just like the way Amazon Web Worker was actually working, that the people are being lured to actually click on links, download files, or download link applications to their laptops, and they get ransomware. The machines get locked. They have been asked to pay, and you can see people are paying money. A lot of millions of dollars are being paid out to these cyber criminals through cryptocurrency. And for the fact that now we have cryptocurrency being a very readily available, easily integrated, it's easy to buy. Organizations are not finding it difficult to be able to actually purchase cryptocurrency to pay ransom for files they have that has been locked, which they know are really important to them. So we have it's becoming it's making cyber criminals very and actually hack you or plant something on your laptop, lock you out, and make sure that you have to pay for it. It's making it harder for us to be able to understand that they need to change into resilience mode and a risk-based approach of security. It's not that easy. Majority of them want to get hacked before they can actually take part in being able to stop it from happening
I mean,
in the future.
last year, cryptocurrencies, had this incredible roller coaster ride. Bitcoin, I believe, came close to $64,000. Ethereum is now
Yeah.
getting close. Well, it's around $2,600 per unit. But how much of this malware that we're seeing and the web application attacks, how much of that is essentially designed to install this malware that turns your phone, your laptop, your desktop into crypto, to essentially install crypto mining software on those devices? Is that a big growing trend?
Well, the numbers are too much. I can't even remember, but I would say thousands are running every day. And you see, these malwares or web application hacking are looking for the easiest target. And they automatically, we call them botnets. The botnets automatically scan the internet, look for publicly available web applications, see what vulnerabilities exist in those web applications, hack them automatically. By the way, this is not human. No, there's no human interaction with this. And they now go to infect that web server or web application, install the malwares in there to mine crypto. Now that is just mining. There's the other part which is basically installing that malware on the computer, lock down one machine, and it spreads across the entire network. Even if you're working from home and you don't have good security, it can infect somebody at work and to get to your home because of the way we are now working from home. With the way we are not having architectures being done properly, we are deemed to actually be infected by all means that's possible.
Indeed, does sound like the wild, wild west. We'll leave it there for the time being. Dr. Bright Kameli Mawado, as always, thank you very much for your time on the program.